Hello, everybody. Welcome to day one of the time challenge. Now, I've given this challenge a couple names. I call it the time challenge for sure, but this is really the reprioritize your time. I'm going to say that again. Reprioritize your time and replace your salary challenge. So, what is this all about? First of all, I'm very, very glad that you're here. I am broadcasting live on my Facebook group right now. If you're listening on the podcast, there is a Facebook group out there. If you're not a member of it, you should be, and why aren't you? So go check it out. You can just go to inacoveney.com/Facebook and it will take you there. You just have to make sure to spell Coveney right. It ends with an EY. Or you can go to Facebook straight there and just type Corporate Trailblazers Unite. That's the name of the group, Corporate Trailblazers Unite. So just like any of my podcasts, you can watch the video version of this by going to inacoveney.com/CT and the episode number. This is going to be episode number 20. Yes, 20. inacoveney.com/20. Oh, milestone episode. Yay. So thank you guys for being here live or for watching the replay. What are we doing here? What is this time challenge about? I'm going to tell you what it is about. When I was in corporate, I actually managed to get a lot of things done and people would be in awe, right? And when I was single, it wasn't that impressive. But once I started having kids, people didn't understand where I got the time to have a business, have a roster of clients that I made websites for, have a podcast. By the way, this is my third podcast at this point. Have a podcast, also, have a family, keep them all alive, right? Have a family and, just keep popping out children and, continue to have a full-time job while I did all these things. And people didn't understand how I got it done. And to me, it's always been very second nature. I'm like, just do it. You want to do something, just do it. So, so what I decided to do was break it down. Like, it's true. I mean, when you're a really busy person, where do you find the time to do things? And I've talked to so many people that once you ask them the question, how's the job going? And they're like, well, it's going okay, but this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I see myself as a business owner in 10 years, for example, right? But these people are normally not doing anything about that now. And if they are, it's like a weekend here and there or an idea here and there, or maybe they've taken one step but then they forgot about it for a couple months, so they're not consistent with it. They're not actually working towards their goal. They just kind of have a side hobby. So when you go back and ask them, hey, why haven't you started your business? What happened with that? You know what you're gonna get? A lot of defensiveness, okay? A lot of, what do you mean? Why haven't I started my business? Don't you notice that I have a full-time job and I have children and I have dinner to put on the table? And I always use this example. I have a basement that's a mess and an attic full of clothes that I need to sort. I'm speaking from personal experience. That's what I'm thinking I have to do with my time. So what ends up happening is this type of people, they really have a dream, they really want to do it, but right now they feel stuck. They feel completely trapped in their current situation because they're thinking to themselves, I don't know where to find the time for this. Hi, Stephanie. It's so nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Sujing. I see you there. So I was just introducing a topic for day one, which is people don't have the time. Right? So this is one exercise that I tell people to do and they get angry about, and within reason. I'm going to tell you what that exercise is. It's not the purpose of day one, but it's just to illustrate the hang-ups that we have in our own head, the obstacles that we put in our own way on the path to fulfilling our dreams or starting a business or whatever it is that we want to do. So I tell people this. All right, I want you to pretend that I just walked up to you in the street and I asked you, so why didn't you start that business yet? Now, any question that starts with why didn't you, it just makes me cringe. It's like, it's a question that carries so much judgment, right? Now, I'm going to acknowledge that the judgment is added in my own head by me, right? That is how I interpret that question, all right? And that's how we internalize questions that start with, why haven't you blank, right? It just makes us immediately get in battle stance, get defensive about it, get like, well, do you not see what my life is like, right? So I tell people, okay, pretend I just bumped into you in the street and I asked you exactly that. I asked you, why haven't you started that business yet? right? Oh, okay. I want you to feel that. I want you to feel that defensiveness. I'm just use me as the punching bag, okay? I'm gonna be the bad guy, all right? And tell me, and I want you to write these things down. I want you to write down all the things you want to tell me to my face for even daring to say that you're not moving forward, because what do you do all day? Do you do all day? If you're not working on your dreams, what are you doing all day, right? So I want you to write these things down, right? Because I have a family, and because I have kids, and because I don't have time, and because I have a full-time job. I want you to write all of that stuff down. And at the end, once you're done ranting, I want you to put a title on that rant. I want you to write down in big, bold, underlined letters, my excuses. And people hate this exercise because they're like, Ina, you don't understand. My life is actually very busy. Dude, I totally understand, right? That's fine. Keep your excuses. Keep your life exactly the way it is. Nobody's watching. Nobody's going to come and judge you at the end of the day. You're doing this to yourself. If you want your life to be different, you need to start working on that now and start to get over some of those reasons that you have for not starting on your own. Because guess what? Me, the person who asked you this, like just like bumped to you on the street, I'm not gonna. It's nothing to me what you do with your life, right? I'm just gonna walk away and be like, well, that was awkward. But you are the one that has to live with your decisions, with the way that your life is set up, and you are the one with all the power to change it. So that's what that exercise is supposed to be. It's supposed to be an internal exercise, something that you have to start convincing yourself out of, all right? Because I can't do it for you. It doesn't matter what I say here, okay? I can't get that out of you. Only you can start to see those reasons as blockages, as excuses, as something to overcome, as something to challenge. And only you can do that for yourself. Okay, so after that little pep talk, day 1 is going to be all about finding out where your time actually goes, all right? And this is all about self-awareness. So let me tell you what these 5 days are going to be about. Okay, so day 1 is going to be all about tracking your time. And this is not so much for you to have, like for you to create such a detailed schedule, such a detailed agenda for what you do. It's more about awareness of where your time goes, right? Even if you already think that you know where your time goes, okay? Even if you're super clear, even if you already have a schedule that you keep, I want you to track your time because you're going to start noticing a few things. One of them being that once you finish a task, right, there will be moments of time where you kind of start looking around and be like, okay, I actually don't have anything lined up now, so I guess I'm just gonna go and fold laundry or do the dishes or clean the house. So at the end of the day, in hindsight, we're going to say, well, I was cleaning the house. Somebody had to clean the house, right? When in reality, if you really take a close look at your time, you didn't really have to spend that half an hour tidying up all those toys. You could have done that at the end of the day. You could have done that in the beginning of the day. You could have done that tomorrow, right? You didn't actually have to spend that half an hour cleaning up your house, right? So this is just an example, guys. I'm not vouching for dirty homes, all right? I'm just telling you that you're going to start noticing what you actually do with your unscheduled available time, all right? So that's what day 1 is all about. It's about tracking your time. And I'm going to tell you a few tips on how to do it. And you will have access to a recap page where I have this assignment all laid out. So you don't have to write this down. You don't have to remember any of this. I'm going to send you the exact page where you can find it. Okay. So tomorrow, day 2 is all about, I have my list here. Day 2 is all about daydreaming. All right, because at the end of this week, you're going to have all of this time to do whatever it is that you want to do with it. And I want you to be ready. I want you to be prepared so that when you do find that pocket of time, the one that I'm telling you about, where you're like, okay, I have a half an hour off. I guess I'm just going to clean up. When those pockets of time appear, I want you to be ready to act, to do what you actually want to do, to work on your passion project, to do whatever it is that you wanted to do. Okay, so day 2, we're going to daydream. What is it that you want to do? What are the next steps for that? On day 3, it's all about spending the time that you already have allocated, but you may not be using it fully, right? For example, the moments when you're commuting, moments when you are, doing the dishes, things like that. We can do something with that time, right? Which seems like idle time, but you're also doing something that is preventing you from doing something else. We're going to figure out what to do with that time. We're going to figure out exactly what to do with that time in a way that is very productive. On day 4, we're going to start talking to a couple of people in our lives to get them to help us, to support us in this dream that we have, okay? And day 5, we're going to bring all of that together and create your new schedule. Now, it's not, I don't really work well with like structured like schedules, because like I'll set up a schedule and I'll forget about it the next day, right? I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get up at this time and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. That will last for like a day, guys. Like that doesn't last with me. But it's so important that I know, that I'm aware how my time is usually spent throughout the day, so that I know where my empty pockets are. And I can actually schedule some big chunks of time, some big chunks like of productive time. When I was working full time, that would be the time, when am I gonna record and edit my podcast? Because editing my podcast back then would take me 3 hours, because I was doing 1 hour shows, 1 hour interview shows, and I would edit the heck out of them. I would remove all of the and I still do like but I don't edit them out as much anymore. But I was like editing everything out. I was moving things around for content, like for clarity. Like it was taking me 3 hours to edit each podcast. So where would I find the time? So I needed to know, like, this day is the day that I'm gonna do it. So that's what we're gonna do on day 5. It's like clean up your schedule so you know exactly where your pockets of time are and what you're going to use them for. So that's a layout of the entire 5-day challenge. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, this is the next 5 episodes. And I hope you find it super helpful. So I wanted to get you out of here quickly. So let's go back to day 1, tracking time. Okay, I told you the purpose of it, which is just to become aware of where your available time actually is, because it does exist. It seems like it doesn't exist, but it's actually there. So what I want you to do is track your time for the next week. Okay, since this is Monday night, if you got my message, you started tracking it Monday morning, which is great. Like if you are on the chat right now and you started tracking your time today, I want you to tell me. If not, it's not a big deal. You can start tomorrow, which is, for anybody in the podcast, it doesn't matter, it's just today. But for everybody who's live, tomorrow, Tuesday, that's when we're going to start tracking. So I want you to track it for 5 days. So this is going to go through Saturday, all right? Track every day what it is that you do. So how are you going to do this? All right. For those of you who are not really super fans of tracking or data, all that stuff is just like, it's just really not what I do. We have to make this as super easy for you as possible. So the purpose of this is not to drive you crazy with data. It's not so that at the end of the day, hey, Ricardo already started. Awesome. So the purpose of all of this is not for you at the end of the day to realize, oh shoot, I forgot to track and now I completely blew the challenge and I'm not gonna return. No, every session of this challenge is set up in such a way that you can jump in any day. All right, so that's why I keep registration open through the end of the week. So if you have any friends that would be interested in this, tell them to come sign up. The fact that this is starting on day 1 doesn't mean that they have to start on day 1. If they sign up on day 3, they get the recap for everything. All right. So it's never too late to start. It's never too late. So never miss a Facebook Live. Never miss these live sessions. All right. It's not in sequence. Everything just kind of comes together at the end. Okay. So I don't want you to ever feel discouraged. So you have to pick the way to track your time that is the easiest for you to stick with. All right. For me, because I'm a data freak and I've been a business analyst for 15 years, I tracked it every 15 minutes. All right. And even that bothered me because there were tasks that were not taking me, 15 minutes. There were tasks that were taking me 10. And I'm like, what do I do with that? So I'm just a freak. You do not have to follow that. What I did was I put it on a Google Sheet. right? And I created a schedule, right? I put every 15-minute interval of my day on the left and, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday across the top. And then I just started writing every 15 minutes. I would just go to the spreadsheet and write down what I did those 15 minutes. You do not have to do it this way, all right? I am just a freak, okay? For you have a few ways that you can do this. Number one, you have to decide whether you're going to track it every 15 minutes, which is kind of insane, every half an hour, every hour, all right? But an hour is the most that I will let you go, all right? So choose your time interval. That is one way to do it. Another way to do it is to only track every time you change an activity. All right. So for example, right now I'm recording this podcast, I'm recording this video. So as soon as this episode is over, I would go to my sheet or to a piece of paper or whatever, and I would write down, I ended recording the podcast at 9:30. At 9:30. And the next activity is editing the podcast. Editing the podcast started at 9:31, whatever it is. So every time you switch activities, track the time it started, track the time it ended. All right. So that's two ways to track it. Pick whichever one is easiest for you to stick to. That's what's important. It's not the accuracy, it's not the detail, it's whatever is easiest for you to stick to so you can actually get through 5 days of doing this. So where are you going to track this? Some of us like to use the phone. So you can use just a notes app. Google Keep is a good one. And it's just literally just like notes. So I just open up just a blank note and I can just start writing down in sequence. Some of you may prefer to carry a notebook around. I love that my favorite place in the world, happiest place on earth, is not Disney World, it's not Disneyland. It's Barnes and Noble Journals section. Oh my God, beautiful, beautiful things they have there. I could spend an hour just looking at them and admiring them, all right? So get yourself a brand new notebook if that gives you joy, and then just track your time in that notebook. Make it small enough so it can fit in your purse or in your wallet, or not in your wallet, like in your bag or whatever it is, okay? So you can track it by hand too, pen and paper. You could also use Google Sheets. So Google has a spreadsheets app. You can download it to your phone and just keep it on the spreadsheet like right away. So you don't have to transfer the data anywhere else. And I guess, another thing you might want to do is to search the App Store for any applications that are specifically for this purpose. So just go to the App Store and just Google for like tracking app, right? Or activity tracker, something like that. I am sure there's an app for that. So if you want to go that route, be my guest. You might also benefit from reminders, especially if you're doing every hour. Just turn around and track what you did that hour. Set up a reminder so that you don't forget. So set an alarm every hour so that it kind of wakes you up to write it down. Okay, so this is a really good question. I put it in the notes too. This is the last thing I'm going to leave you with, and then your quick assignment, and then we're going to close for the day, and I will see you tomorrow. But here's the deal. By the way, if you have any questions about this time tracking stuff, about the challenge at all, make sure to put them in the comments and I'll answer them right away. So here's a question that I came up with while I was writing this is, should you change your behavior while you track, right? So question is, should you force yourself to act naturally, to do what you normally would do, right? So if you found yourself with 30 minutes where you don't have anything, your question would be like, should I remember what you said, Ina? Should I remember that, oh wait, I have 30 minutes, I should do something else? Or should I pretend I didn't hear that and act normally, right? In these 30 minutes, I was going to clean my house. So I guess just go ahead and clean. The answer is whatever works for you. Because if you actually start changing your behavior just by the pure awareness of this exercise, that is a win that you can claim by having taken this challenge. So if you start acting differently just by tracking on day one, that is a huge win, guys, because that's the whole purpose of this challenge, is to get you to be more productive. So if you feel more productive just by knowing that you have a half an hour here and you know that you don't have to clean right now, you can just clean later, and you are going to turn around and read a book or research something online you wanted to research, you guys, do it. Go for it. At the end of this challenge, you will already have had a very productive week. So go for it. If you are more like the scientific method is what I want to use and I'm just going to act normally, that works too. All right, so whatever you guys want. So what do you do with this, with the time tracking? We are going to do that all week and we're going to bring it all together on day 5. All right, so nothing to do there other than track, but I do want you to stay focused on the Facebook group. I am going to be posting the assignment. I'm going to be asking you guys how you guys are doing. And for throughout the challenge, I want you to use the hashtag time. Hashtag time. And tell me if you've had a breakthrough. Tell me if you've noticed something different about your time. Tell me if you've noticed something that you didn't really realize about your days. The fact that maybe they're not as structured as you thought they were, or that you're spending way too much time doing X activity and you didn't really think you were. So things like that. I want to hear it. Everybody else wants to hear it too. People want to know how you're experiencing this challenge. So give me a hashtag time, go to the Facebook group, inacoveney.com/Facebook, and tell me how you're doing. That's your assignment for this day 1, is if you notice something, say something, right? Go back, give me a hashtag time, and tell me what it is. All right, so that is basically what I had for you. And before I forget, I have an announcement on Wednesday that I don't want you to miss. So you can keep an eye on your emails. Open those emails. I write them with a lot of love, and I'm telling you, these things are gold. But anyway, I digress. Wednesday, I have a really big announcement. Stay tuned to the Facebook group. Stay tuned to your emails, or come on the live session. If you can't make the live session, just keep an eye on the emails. If you want to know more about the announcement, when it happens on Wednesday, send me a direct message on Facebook. I always respond, or just tag me on a comment in the Facebook group and I will respond there too. All right, so for everybody who's in the podcast and maybe not doing this challenge live, maybe this already passed, I hope you will join us anyway. Go to the Facebook group, use the hashtag time. It's never too late to start this, and I would love to hear if there's people asynchronously that are doing this challenge at the same time. At the same time, not at the same time. All right, so basically that's what I had for you. If you guys have any questions, leave them as a comment here. At me. All right, mention me so that I can come back and answer any of your questions. But that's what I had for you for day 1. How does that feel? Is that good? I feel good. I can't wait. I can't wait until tomorrow. This is just going to get better and better. So thank you guys so much for watching live. Thanks everybody for listening on the podcast. And this podcast episode goes live tomorrow morning. All right, I'm about to send you the recap page. So try toggle. What is toggle? What is toggle, Rebecca? Never heard about that. Mirellana is saying yes. Thank you. Ricardo, let's do this. Damn straight. You guys are gonna realize how much you can get done with minimal changes to your life. I'm telling you, this doesn't take reprioritizing your entire life. It just takes a few key things. I'm telling you. Mirellana, I spend so much time doing nothing on my commute. Not acceptable. Let's do it. Let's start making the most out of our time. Rebecca, timing app. Thank you, Rebecca. Do you know, I'm saying Rebecca in Spanish. Rebecca. Do you know if it's on Android too, or if it's just an iPhone? Let us know here in the comments. But Rebecca is recommending the app called Toggle, Toggl. So look it up. You can also go to toggl.com. They are not paying us for this advertisement. And thank you, Rebecca, for the recommendation. All right, guys. I am excited. I am super pumped. If you have any breakthroughs, if you have any realizations, go to the Facebook group. Give me hashtag time. And Rebecca says you can use the app on web on your laptop. Perfect. So you guys can do it at work too. You can just have the tab open, the Toggle app open, and do it at work. All right, guys. That's it. I'm going to let you go. I haven't had my dinner yet, so it's time. But I'll be posting this. Watch out for your email. You're going to get the recap with all of this, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.